What's up y'all, and welcome back to my channel, or if you are new here, hello and welcome. In today's video, we are going to be unboxing and trying on my August ice cream beauty box. I'm so excited about this. I still love a subscription box. This is actually one of two that I currently still have and open up every single month on my channel. These are not sponsored, these are not sent to me. I do pay for both of these with my own money, but my other one is BoxyCharm, and usually that's the first one that I open up on my channel, but when mine arrived this month, it was missing a product. Not a big deal. I reached out to Ipsy. They are sending it to me, but it's not here yet. So I figured, why not go ahead and kick off August with my Ice Cream Beauty box. Now, if you are unfamiliar with Ice Cream Beauty, they are a monthly subscription service that is $25 a month. You do get 5 to 7 full-size products in every single month, and you are always guaranteed an eyeshadow palette, which I absolutely love because I am an eyeshadow palette girly through and through. But this month, just like last month, we got 2 eyeshadow palettes to choose from, or you could add on the second one for $10, which is what I decided to do because the eyeshadow palettes do come to us from Gourmade Girls in collaboration with Ladybug Glow, and those are 2 indie brands that I absolutely love and adore, so I had to pick up both, and if I didn't get them both in this box, I would have purchased them anyway. But we're gonna go ahead and we are going to open up this box, check out the products inside, give you the full retail value of everything in here, and then we are going to create a look using the products. Before we start pulling out products, I just want to point out this little pamphlet that you get in every single box. It's going to tell you what products are in here, how much they retail for, tips and tricks, things like that. Super helpful. I love that they always include this every single month. But let's go ahead and dive into this box and see what kind of goodies we have this month. So up first, we have the eyeshadow palette. Like I said, you do get to choose which one of the 2 you want included in your box, but you can add on the second one for only $10, which is a fantastic value because these do retail for $35 a piece. Now, I couldn't choose between the 2, so I added on the second one, and I'm super excited. These are both beautiful. These are 12 pan palettes. They do have 9 mattes and 3 duochromes in each one of them, and they are a collaboration between Gourmade Girls and Ladybug Glow, 2 indie brands that I absolutely love and adore. But let's go ahead and run through these, starting with the El Camino palette. This is my favorite one of the 2. I think this is probably the one that I would have chosen if I only could have picked one, because look at this color story. This is a very me color story. It's got your purples, your teals, a little pop of blue in here. I love the color story. It goes from light to dark. You get this black down here, which I love a black in an eyeshadow palette. I'm really excited about this one and I can't wait to create a look with it. But you also get the Paradise Cove palette. This one is going to be for all of my green lovers out there. So if green is your color, this is going to be your palette. How beautiful is this one as well? I love the pop of yellow. I love the contrast in here. I think this one is beautiful as well. I really like both of them, and ooh, the decision is really hard. I still think this one's my favorite, but this one's also very beautiful. Our next product is going to be this little single eyeshadow from Medusa's Makeup. This is in the shade Electric Blue, and this retails for $12. So this is supposed to be from their Electro series. It's a highly pigmented, super soft and sparkly pressed powder with micro sparkles. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of a swatch and see what this looks like. We're absolutely going to use this in one of the looks that we create today, probably with the Paradise Cove palette. But I will say, based off of first impression, this is not like the super smoothest and softest eyeshadow I've ever swatched, but let's do a little swatch here on the back of my hand and see what this is gonna look like. So not super pigmented, doesn't seem to be very opaque either. I can definitely see those sparkles in there. Let's try and build this up a little bit, see what it's gonna do. Obviously, finger swatches are not gonna tell the whole story. Everything's gonna perform differently on the eye with brushes, setting mist, things like that. But I do think it's very pretty, and I can see those micro sparkles in there. From ZC Cosmetics, we have the Palace Identity Blossom Blush. This is in the shade Hibiscus, and this retails for $42. I'm really excited about this one. Last month, we got the bronzer that goes with this collection, and I absolutely loved that. I thought it was beautiful on the skin. It was buildable in pigmentation. It is a bummer it only came in a couple of different shades, but still a beautiful bronzer if you have the skin tone that it's going to fit with. But this is what the blush looks like. So it's the same component that we got with the bronzer, which is absolutely beautiful. beautiful. It's like a little piece of art. And this is what the blush looks like. How beautiful is that? The embossings, the detail, all of it. This is like a really pretty peachy pink shade. I'm pretty sure the little gold flecks are an overspray because they were in the bronzer, but nevertheless, this is beautiful. I'm excited to play with this one. From Bo Babe Beauty, we have the Sculpting Contour Palette. So this is going to retail for $45. And I'm really curious about this one because I feel like contour palettes can either lean really dark or really light. I've personally never come across one that works for everybody across the board, but let's go ahead and check this one out. So first of all, the packaging is very reflective. I'm so sorry if this blinds you, but let's open her up and see what this looks like. Okay, so definitely more on the lighter side as far as bronzing and contouring goes, but these are true contour shades, I think. They're definitely more on that neutral, cool leaning side. I like that you have sort of like a brightening powder over here. I don't think that's gonna work for my fair skin, but if you have more of a medium skin, that might work for you. It also has a yellow undertone as well. This shade over here, however, intrigues me because it has more of that red tone to it, and then you have these two right here that are really kind of very close as far as undertone goes. One's a little bit darker than the other one, but I do think this is very pretty and I'm excited to try it. But again, I don't think it's going to work for everybody across the board, but that's kind of the chance that you take with subscription boxes, is sometimes everything's going to work for you and sometimes everything won't. But we will try this one on together because I need a little bit of bronzing on this face. And our last product in this box is going to come to us from Fantasy Cosmetica, another indie brand that I love and adore. But this is going to be their Lost Library lipstick. These do retail for $11 a piece, and I don't have any of these. I do have all the single shadows that came out with this collection, but I never picked up any of the lipsticks, so I'm excited about this one. But look at that packaging. Isn't that cute? I love how it looks like little bookshelves all the way around, but they gave me the shade Buried. I don't know if everybody gets the same shade or not, but this is beautiful. It's a really pretty brick red shade. This is going to be perfect for fall and winter, but let's see what this is going to look like. I don't have a whole lot of like deeper brick red shades in my collection just because I feel like they're really hard for me to pull off being so fair, and I think if I wear this one right, it'll be okay, but it can wash me out very easily. But it went on very creamy. It feels very nice on the back of my hand, and we're definitely going to be trying this on. All right, so that is all the products that are included in the August Ice Cream Beauty Box. I'm really excited about this. I think we got a good variety of products. We have almost a full face of makeup sitting here, and we are gonna try these on and create a look. But before we do that, I want to give you the full value of this box. Keep in mind, I did add on the extra palette for $10, so I paid $35 for my box, and it gave me a grand total of $180 value, which is absolutely incredible. That is like $145 worth of free product. We absolutely love it. But let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit, get my hair out of my face, prime my eyes, all of that, and we're gonna create a look using all of these products. All right, let's go ahead and start with the sculpting palette so we can get a little bit of color back into my face because I feel very washed out, very flat at the moment. And I think I really want to play with this shade right here. I do think it might be a little bit too dark for me, but you know what? Let's go ahead and swatch these out first on the back of my hand and see what they're going to look like, and then we'll go from there. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the lightest one, which is like that banana brightening shade over here. So that is what it looks like on my finger, and I'm going to do a little swatch right here on my arm. So definitely going to be too dark, too yellow leaning for my skin tone, but like I said before, if you have a different skin tone than me, these shades are definitely going to work differently. Okay, moving on to the next one. So that is what that shade looks like right there. Like I said, these are very cool toned. I do think this one has a little bit of yellow in that undertone, but that is really pretty. I think that one's going to work out really nicely for me. All right, the next one that we have looks like it's gonna be a little bit lighter than that last one. So it's this one right here. I'm gonna do a swatch, and actually it swatches out darker. That is so weird. Very, very similar, but I think this one has a little bit more warmth to the undertone than this one does right here. But let's do that last one, that last darker, more red leaning shade, because this is the one that I'm really curious about because I like the undertone of it, but I think it might be a little too dark for me. Yeah, that's definitely going to be too dark, but you know what? These would look really pretty on the eye as like a crease shade, maybe just like a little bit in the crease, throwing that blue shade all over your lid, out the door, things like that. So there is a lot of versatility in this palette, but again, I don't think it's going to work for everybody across the board when it comes to skin tones. But I think what I want to do is go in with this shade right here, which is going to be this one in the palette. So I'm going to go ahead and pick that up with my Rephr 05 brush, and we're just going to start to kind of bronze tour a little bit. I don't like to completely contour my skin, but I do like to do kind of a combination of the two. So let's go in and see what this is going to do. All right, so it's definitely pigmented. It is going on nicely. It doesn't look as yellow in person as it looks like it's picking up on camera. I do think this is a really nice neutral undertone. I just don't know if it's melting into my skin the way that I want it to. Like, I think it looks nice, but I have other ones in my collection that just kind of melt when they touch the skin and just blend in so easily, but we're gonna roll with this one because it's giving me the color that I need. All right, so this is what that contour looks like, and I don't like it. I do not like the way it went on. I don't like the way it looks. I had a little bit of a difficult time blending it into my skin because I am fair and this is a little bit dark. I get that, but the more I blended, it started to kind of fluff away in pigmentation. So when I went back in with more to kind of build it up, it started to patch and grab over here and mud out a little bit. I don't like that. My face is powdered. I don't have anything sticky on or anything like that for it to grab to. So I don't know what's going on with that. I will continue to test it out and give you my final thoughts later. But first impression, I'm not a fan of this. But let's go ahead and move on to the blush and see if we can kind of redeem this a little bit. So this is what the blush looks like. Absolutely beautiful. I would try and swatch it, but I've noticed with products like this, when you try and swatch them, you don't get a true representation of what it's gonna look like on the cheek just because you do have so many different colors going on. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go straight into my cheek with this one. So I'm gonna pick this one up with a Rephr 04 brush. I'm gonna get a little bit of everything all around, and you can see that gold is already gone. Immediately that overspray is gone, which is fine with me. It doesn't bother me, but if you're somebody who thinks that gold is going to hang around, it's not going to. But very pigmented on my brush. I think a little bit's gonna go a long way. So I'm gonna tap off the excess, and we're just gonna kind of stipple this on the cheek over here. And then once I have the pigmentation where I want it, I go back in with swiping motions and kind of blend it out. But that is very pretty. I like the shade of this. It's really hard to tell what it's doing because it's picking up where it grabbed with that bronzer right here. But I didn't experience that with the bronzer that came with this collection, so I don't think you're gonna have that experience with this either. Again, I'll have to keep testing it out just because that bronzer that I have on is really throwing this off. But I do think the shade is really pretty. I think it's blending in nicely everywhere I don't have that bronzing or contour shade. It is buildable in pigmentation. I don't see like a sheen or anything to it. It's just a really pretty like pinky peachy color. All right, so the blush is on. I think it looks absolutely beautiful. We're going to ignore this patchy weirdness that we have going on. Like I said, I definitely think that's from the contour shade because I didn't experience that anywhere else, but I do think this blush is really pretty. I will say it is a little bit more pigmented than the bronzer that they have. So if you're expecting something more on that buildable side, just be aware this is more pigmented. It's not super pigmented, but it does have a little bit more of a punch than the bronzer did. But let's go ahead and move on to the eyes. I want to do the lipstick last just because I feel like if I put it on now, it's really gonna wash me out. But let's start with the El Camino palette. This is the one that I am super excited about. I love the color story in here, and I'm trying to decide what I want to do. I definitely want to play with like this fuchsia shade down here, and I'm also kind of thinking of maybe playing with a little bit of like this gray and this black. I think that could be a really fun color combination. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with this fuchsia shade right over here. This one is called Excess, and I'm gonna go ahead and find a clean brush to pick this up with. I should have washed my brushes and I didn't, but I'm sure I have one somewhere. I think this one will work. Okay, we're gonna go in with a BK Beauty 206 brush. I do already have my eyes primed with my MAC paint pot in the shade Painterly, my absolute favorite, my holy grail. I have super oily eyelids and everything adheres to that just fine. I don't experience creasing. But we're gonna pick up that shade Excess with this brush, tap off the excess of it. Isn't that cute? Excess, excess. That's a fun little pun. Anyways, I'm gonna tap this into my outer corner and I'm gonna bring this up into my crease, giving me the depth that I want out here. Sometimes I start light and go dark, sometimes I start mid-tone and kind of go from there. And I really want this shade to be the star of the show, so that's why I'm starting with this one. And I'm gonna put this one about halfway over. Instant pigmentation. Love it. Very easy to apply, very easy to blend. I'm not getting any fallout. I didn't get very much kick up in the pan. The pigmentation is there. Beautiful. All right, so next we're gonna go in with this gray shade right here. This one is called Peril, and I'm gonna pick this up with a Singe Beauty EO3 brush, and I'm gonna put this one on the rest of my lid next to that first shade that I put down, just pressing it in and pressing it next to that shade. And then once I have it where I want it, I can go ahead and start blending everything. I wanna do pressing motions because I don't wanna start swiping it right here and end up with muddiness or anything like that. I want the colors to kind of melt into each other without like mudding up. All right, so with a Morphe M506, I'm just going in with that black shade called Dark Highway, and I'm just building up a little bit of depth and definition out here. I don't want it to take over the look, but I also want to have a little something out here. I don't want there to be nothing, but I like what this is doing. It is a very pigmented black, so a little bit is going to go a long way. Go in very light-handed, just so it doesn't get away from you, but that is really, really pretty. Going back in with a little bit of that excess shade, and I'm just very lightly tapping along the outer edges of that black shade just because I want to bring back a little bit of that fuchsia shade where it got away from me. It happens, but you know, we can always fix it. All right, I think for the lower lash line, I want to throw in a pop of color, and I'm trying to decide if I want to kind of keep this dark and smoky and go in with this one up here, or if I want to kind of brighten things up and go in with this teal shade. So I think we're gonna do the teal. I just can't resist. It's absolutely beautiful. Okay, that shade is called Tiffany Twisted. I love the theme of this. I love the Eagles. I love Hotel California. This is giving me all the vibes and I'm here for it 100%. I'm going to pick up that shade with my Singe Beauty EO2 brush, and I'm just going to fluff this along my lower lash line, giving me that little pop of color. All right, so my lid is primed and ready to go with my NYX glitter primer. Let's do some shimmer on the lid. Which one do I want to do? We definitely have choices. I want to swatch each one. I don't normally do this, but I just have to. I want to see what they're gonna look like before I commit. So let's swatch these out. So the first one that we have is going to be Disillusion. That is a really pretty like brown to green duochrome. I think that would look beautiful, but maybe not with this one. The next one that we have is going to be Courtyard. Oh, that one is gorgeous as well. Look at how beautiful and shifty that shade is. I love that one. And then the last one that we have is Hedonism. I can never say that word, so I apologize if I'm saying it wrong, but that is a really pretty purple duochrome shade. So which one do we want to do? Oh, I wish I had somebody here to tell me what to do because I don't know. Okay, I think we're gonna go in with Courtyard. I think that's gonna be the winner of this one. Courtyard is the middle shade right here. Surprising that I'm not going in with the purple one, I know. But I'm gonna pick the shade up Courtyard, pick the shade Courtyard up with my finger. Ooh, that is so pretty. It's like a copper orange flip. Beautiful. Okay, we're gonna put this all over the eye. Now this is a little bit more on the textured, flakier side, but I don't find that these from either one of these brands ever emphasize the texture on my lid. I do get a little fallout, but I don't mind the fallout because I can just fluff it away or it'll just kind of blend in with my highlighter. but the shade is very beautiful. All right, let's do the inner corner really quick and then I can finish up this eye look. So I wanna go in with this pink shade up here. This one is called Pink Champagne. So I'm gonna pick this one up with a Game Beauty EO8 brush, and I'm just gonna pop this into my inner corner, giving a little bit of some brightness in here, but I don't wanna do a shimmer because I would have to bring in one from another palette because these are all very dark shimmers and they're just not gonna work on my inner corner. But that's fun, I like that. And there we have our completed look with the El Camino palette, and I think this turned out really pretty. It's definitely something a little bit different for me. It's like dark, smoky, and dramatic, but it still has those pops of bright, vibrant colors. I don't usually go for a deep shimmer all over my lid. I usually prefer something like lighter and brighter, but I think this is really pretty. It went on nice and smooth. It's not emphasizing my texture. The mattes didn't patch or skip. I didn't get any fallout. Everything performed the way that I expected it to. They're nice and pigmented. They blend out beautifully. So far, I haven't come across any issues with this palette, but I've only created the one look. I haven't gotten to every single shade. But let me show you what I used to finish off this look, and then we will pop into the second palette for the other eye. So in my lower waterline and tightlining my lid, I went in with a Kylie Cosmetics black eyeliner. You can go in with any black eyeliner. This is just the only one I have in my collection. And then I just threw on some of my Charmacy volumizing mascara. But let's pop over to the Paradise Cove palette for the other eye. So this one is going to be our green, yellow, blue, more tropical palette. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And for this one, I think I really want to play with like these two shades and maybe a little bit of this teal over here. This one is calling my name as well. So let's go ahead and start with this shade up here, this bright yellow shade. This one is called El Sol, and I'm gonna go ahead and pick this one up with a Sigma E45 brush, and I'm gonna pop this into my inner corner. I'm gonna have this be like that pop of color, lightness, and brightness in here. I love a yellow inner corner, especially when it's more on the neon or the chartreusey side. I just think it's so beautiful. Oh, I love that. All right, my camera cut out, so I already have a little bit of the next shade on, but I'm picking up this shade right here. This one is called Las Palmeras. I'm rusty on my Spanish. It's been a really long time. I took 4 years of it in high school, but that's been years and years ago at this point. But I just went ahead and picked that shade up with my Morphe M543 brush, and I'm putting this one in the rest of my crease, bumping it up to that first shade that I put down and bringing it all the way over to the outer corner, but I'm not gonna bring it like down on this portion of it. I'm just keeping it in my crease. All right, so for the rest of the outer corner, I'm gonna go in with this teal shade over here. This one is called Just Like Paradise. So I'm gonna pick that one up with my Sigma X Kristen Dominique nose and eye contour brush, and I'm just gonna start to pack this on the outer corner, building up the depth and definition that I want. And I think this is gonna be as dark as I take this one. I am gonna bring it down onto my lower lash line a little bit as well, but I'm gonna keep it about as far out as the rest of this shade. So I'm not gonna take it all the way over. All right, so I changed my mind and I'm taking that shade all the way over on my lower lash line. I really like the way that it looks, and I just decided I want to kind of keep this simple with the mattes and not go too crazy. So we're gonna stick with the 3 mattes, and then I'll go in and do something else for a shimmer on the lid. All right, so once again, my lid is primed by NYX Glitter Primer. We're gonna put this shade all over the lid. This one is calling to me, and I think it's gonna look absolutely beautiful. So that shade is called La Fortuna. Somebody's gonna criticize my Spanish. Please do. I'm not very good at it. But I'm gonna pick this up with my finger, and we're gonna pop this one all over the lid. Oh, that is such a pretty color. I love the reflection in that. Look how beautiful. This one is a little bit smoother than the first one I picked up, so you're not gonna get as much of like that chunky feeling. You might still get a little bit of fallout, but like I said, I don't mind it. It is what it is. I don't mind fallout with a shimmer. As long as I don't get it with a matte shade, I'm okay. All right, y'all, this is our completed look with the Paradise Cove palette, and I absolutely love this. I think it is so beautiful, so bright, fun, tropical, and I think it's my favorite of the two, which is very strange for me to say, but this came out really pretty. I like the gradient of colors. I like the way everything performed. The shimmer on the lid went on nice and smooth. It's very reflective. Again, I didn't have any issues with the matte formula in this palette either. I had the same experience with the mattes in this one that I had in the first palette. But let me show you what I used to finish off this look, and then we will move on to the lipstick and close out this video. So in my lower waterline, I went in with a NYX Epic Wear liner. This is in the shade Blue Trip, and I like how it kind of brings out that kind of blue turquoisey color in the shimmer shade that I put all over my lid. And then again, I went in with my same Charmacy Volume Mascara. But let's go ahead and throw on this lipstick. I don't think it's gonna go with this look, but we need to do it anyway. You guys, you know what I didn't use? I didn't use the single shadow from Medusa's makeup. But I don't think it's gonna go with either one of these looks. I'm gonna have to try this in another video. I hate that I didn't get to it, but it's not gonna go with either of these looks and they're already complete. So I apologize for not getting to this. I'm usually really good about getting to every single product, but forgive me, it is what it is. I'm only human. But like I said, let's do a lip. It's not gonna go with these looks, but we're gonna try it on anyway. So I think for a lip liner, I'm gonna go in with one from Unearthly Cosmetics. This is in the shade Bad Blood. It's this really pretty, like deep red bricky shade. It might be a little off tone for what I have right here, but we're gonna roll with it. So I'm gonna go ahead and line my lips with this, and then we'll put on the lipstick. All right, lips are lined. Let's go in with the lipstick from Fantasy Cosmetica. So I'm just gonna start applying this. You know what? That lip liner goes with this shade a lot better than I thought it would. But this is going on very creamy. It's not grabbing, it doesn't feel dry, it's not clinging to anything. Very comfortable. As far as longevity goes, I will have to let y'all know. But I do like that shade. Again, it does not go with what I have on. This is not the lip that I would have chosen. I either go for a bold lip and a more subdued eye or vice versa. But this is very pretty. I like the shade. It's actually more flattering on me than what I thought it was gonna be. Alright y'all, so these are the two completed looks using all the products in this month's Ice Cream Beauty Box, with the exception of the single eyeshadow from Medusa's makeup. I cannot believe I forgot to use this. I had it in my mind and it just completely, I don't know where it went. That thought went out the window, but I will definitely use this very soon in an upcoming video. Maybe I'll do it with a short so I can kind of showcase it a little bit, but I did get to everything else. So let's run through these really quick, give you my first initial impression thoughts, and then we will close out this video. So starting with the Bow Babe Beauty Sculpting Contour Palette. First impression, I don't like this. I don't like the way it went on. I don't like the pigmentation of it. I don't like the way it built up on my cheek. I look like I have a lot of texture going on over here, and I don't have a lot of texture on my cheeks. If I have texture anywhere, it's gonna be more over here. So based off of what I used today, which was this shade, I'm not a fan of this. I want to try the other shades. Maybe it was the powder, maybe it was the brush. I like to give everything the benefit of the doubt, so I will keep y'all posted in a future speed reviews video, but first impression, not a fan of this one. But let's move on to the blush from ZC from the Palace Identity collection. I thought this was really pretty. I do want to test it out some more because it didn't go on as smooth on my cheeks as I wanted it to because of the contour that I had on underneath, or at least that's what I'm assuming. So I will continue to test it out, but I like the shade in here. I like how it's that pinky peach shade, and it is a little bit more on the pigmented side, which really impressed me. I didn't expect it to be super pigmented, but it is very pretty. Keep in mind that gold overspray is going to completely go away the minute that you dip your brush in here, and this is a matte blush. I don't see any sort of sheen or anything on my cheeks. Very pretty, but I need to test it out. The lipstick from Fantasy Cosmetica, this is really pretty. I like the way that it's sitting on my lips. I will say it is very hydrating. It is very silky, very smooth. It glides onto the lips really, really nicely. I don't think the pigmentation is going to last very long. It doesn't claim to be. It is a classic lipstick formula, so when you start eating and things like that, it will wear off. But my biggest question is going to be, is it going to wear off nicely? Is it going to last even aside from all of those things? Or is it going to wear off? Is it going to dry out my lips? Things like that. But I do think the shade is really pretty, and so far I like the formula. The last two things that we have to talk about are the two eyeshadow palettes in this box. These are beautiful. I already told you I really adore both of these brands, and I love that they came together to give us these two palettes. These are absolutely beautiful. Now, I will admit this is the one that I was super excited about. This is the El Camino palette, and I do think this is very, very beautiful. I don't normally go for a deeper shimmer on the lid, so for me, I would have to pull in something else and maybe use these on like the outer corner, things like that. But I do think this is really pretty. I like the color combination in here. I like how light and dark it goes with the mattes, and I think the formula is absolutely beautiful. I didn't experience any patching, skipping, grabbing, fallout, anything like that. These perform beautifully. They are more on the pigmented side. They're not like an impossible to work with pigmentation. They're not one of those where you have to be super light-handed and very careful, because they do blend out very beautiful. And the same goes for this palette over here. All the good things I just said with the formula, everything like that. But I think I like this color story a little bit more now that I'm into it a little bit more, and it could be because I absolutely love this eye look. This is my favorite one out of the two, but I'm really excited to keep playing with both of these palettes. In fact, Gourmande Girls does have another palette that they came out with at the same time. It's just Gourmande Girls. It's not a collaboration one, but that one is called the Gourmandes palette, and that video should be coming up tomorrow. It's absolutely beautiful, but I'm excited to keep playing with these, keep testing them, see how all the other shades perform in these two palettes, and I will give you my final thoughts on those two in a future palette ranking video. But for now, that is going to complete this video. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Let me know all of your thoughts down below. Which look was your favorite? Which palette is your favorite? Did you get this box? If you did, which palette did you get? Did you get both? Did you pick up the palettes separately? I want to know it all. Let's have that conversation. Light up that comment section, and as usual, I want to thank you all so much for watching my video and spending your time with me. It truly does mean so much to me. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up before you leave. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click on that notification bell so that you can be notified of all my future posts here on my channel. I do post quite a few videos every single week, and I wouldn't want you to miss one. But until my next video, have a good one. Bye.